Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Bleed Norwich YouTube channel. We're getting content out like Matthias Kvistgaarden scores goals in the Danish Super League. But we're not here to talk about Matthias Kvistgaarden. As you can see, we've got James from the Watford Way on Bleed Norwich to talk all about Papa Diallo. James, how are you, mate?
Really well, thank you. I've been a fan of your content for some time. And yeah, gutted about Diallo, of course, but I found the whole deal fascinating. It's been ongoing for what feels like nearly a month now. So yeah, excited to talk all about him. And yeah, gutted you guys have got this one over the line.
Yeah, I think if we jump right back to the start, because Norwich had actually no interest in him at the very start. It was all Watford, and it all seemed pretty plain sailing for you guys, didn't it?
It did, yeah. So the reports originally come out of Sky Sports, I believe. We spoke to Anthony Joseph at Sky and Luca Bendoni as well, kind of our best source for Watford information this window. Diallo himself completed his Watford medical, according to these reports, on July the 4th, so almost 2 weeks ago now, and a fee was agreed with Metz. We were really just waiting for essentially him to appear in either a match day squad or on the bench for Metz in the league game at the start of this season, and the reason for that is because of this complex situation with ESC slots, elite significant contribution slots, or GBE, which is essentially how many points Diallo has. He has to reach a certain threshold, and when he does that, he would have been able to join Watford. What you had in your benefit from a Norwich side of things was that you already had these ESC slots available, and Watford hadn't, which meant he was, of course, able to join Norwich at any point should you agree a deal with Metz. So yeah, it's been going on for some time. As you mentioned before we started recording, we have secured Nestory Irankunda, which I do feel is an adequate replacement. But yeah, gutted this one didn't get over the line. And yeah, it seemed like Watford were faffing about with the ESC slots. And yeah, we just couldn't get it done in time, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alex, if you've got a question as well, haven't you? So I'll let you go first before I start waffling.
Well, yeah, as you say about the ESC slots, Norwich had them and Watford obviously didn't. Um, so would you have had to sell someone to free that space up, or would it have been just the league and game?
So the plan with Watford, from my understanding, was to wait out until early to mid-August. Papa Diallo, as I mentioned before, if he made an appearance on the bench or started a Ligue 1 game, he would then have enough GBE points to join Watford, which would have meant us not using an ESC slot. From my understanding, in the past few days, Watford were trying really hard to open up a free ESC slot by trying to do some clever work, is what I'll say, with some existing players at the club. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that done in time. And as the Pinken reported throughout the entire transfer window, what Norwich were trying to hijack this deal. And Ben Knapper, I think is a great sporting director. Personally, he's done a great job with this one. So yeah, gutted. But as we just mentioned, Iran Kunda, very happy with him.
No, of course. I think he's going to be a top quality player. Obviously, you don't get a move to Bayern Munich without showing some real quality. So, yeah, I think both sides were quite happy. Obviously, a bit of silver lining for you guys with Iran Kunda. But obviously, for us, Diallo is pretty much all but signed and revealed as a Norwich City player. The number 19 shirt is the rumoured one for Norwich. We haven't actually seen a lot of Papa Diallo. I don't really watch the second division of France too much. I'm guessing you would have probably done your research because you've been linked with him for so long. Is there anything sort of you can tell us what to expect from Diallo?
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm not sure how Liam Manning is going to utilise him in the Norwich team. I assume he's been brought in almost as a Bor Hassan's replacement. From the research I've done, which is relatively basic, I'm definitely not a professional scout. But yeah, he plays primarily on the left-hand side, is comfortable on the right as well. He can also play up front as almost like a false nine position. He's got quite a big physique about him as well, so I wouldn't necessarily view him as a target man, man, but he can certainly hold up the ball. And also, he's got not vast, but he's got good experience with the Senegal international team as well. And I think that's what Watford fans got most excited about, because we used to have, you guys will know, Ismaila Sarr at the club, a very good Senegalese international himself. And it was quite funny to be linked with another Senegalese winger. So, yeah, from what you can expect about Diallo, fast, pacey, tricky winger, and can play all the positions across the front line. But I wouldn't view him necessarily as an out-and-out striker to replace Josh Sargent. I think you'll probably have to go and get someone else in that position to replace what he brought to your team.
Yeah, he probably is coming in as a Borja Science replacement. What do you think, Doeke?
Yeah, so I remember when the reports first initially come out. So it was the Pink Un reported Borja Science has gone to Porto. So as a replacement, we're getting in Diallo, and that was sort of the bog standard of the tweet there. So I think like you say, definitely been brought in as a Science replacement. But from what I'm hearing from people that have got experience in the scouting network, is that he's very different to Science and isn't going to bring sort of the goal tally that Science did bring last season. Obviously, that's going to be impossible to replace, but. Yeah, where do you see Diallo? Do you think he's a top level championship winger, or is he someone that's sort of got to work his way into the side?
Probably work his way into the side. I know from reports that we are possibly looking at getting another left winger in at some point, who I don't really know at this moment in time.
Yeah, Lewis Kumas has been a name thrown around and all
Kumas,
sorts.
obviously, it's kind of one that's up in the air at the moment, who that other one is going to be at the moment. So probably are looking at Diallo as being the primarily one that's going to come in and be the left winger straight away.
But like I say, so it's going to be difficult to replace what Science did bring to that team last season. But then if we go back to sort of, obviously Watford were linked with him, Norwich came in, and then for the last sort of week and a half till yesterday, there wasn't really any real proper. There wasn't really anything, especially on the Watford side as well. There wasn't much reported. Was that kind of the telling side for you, where you were like, okay, I think this still might be off?
It was interesting, actually, because I know clubs have a lot of what you would call in the know accounts, and from the people I've spoken to, actually, they were relatively confident on Diallo. It seemed like his preference was to join Watford. He was going to wait out the period of time until early August when he could make that move over to the Hornets. Even our local newspaper, the equivalent to the Pink Un, the Watford Observer, whilst not explicitly saying they were confident, you could kind of tell they were by the way they worded some of their articles. So it was a really odd one, actually. I think for me personally, when you look at our attack, and we've mentioned Iran Kunda already, we're very stacked and loaded in them areas. We've got Kwadwo Bar, who you may be familiar with, Georgie Shakfatatse, Uthman Mamar, a young Moroccan winger, come in this transfer window, Rocco Vata as well. So for Watford fans, whilst Diallo would have been a nice added bonus, he wasn't really a necessity. So as I said, disappointed and surprised to see him go to Norwich, actually, as you say, listening to some of the messaging coming out of the Watford side. But I hope you very much enjoy him, and we can nickname the Carabao Cup game the Papa Diallo Derby in a few weeks, I think.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for that one definitely. As well. That's a local game for me living in London, so I'm looking forward to it. But just another thing, because obviously you mentioned you signed a Moroccan winger, Mamar is his name?
Yes, Uthman Mamar, that's correct.
So I did read a report that initially he was brought in to be sent out on loan, and within a sort of 2 days of him being in the training camp, it was sort of decided that he wasn't going to be sent on loan. Do you think the whole Diallo saga may have had an influence in that, or do you think he was just that impressive in training?
Looking back in hindsight, potentially so. I think that's a good point you make. I think for the messaging from the club to be that they've decided he's a first team player after 2 days of training seemed bizarre to me. Let's just say I don't think you could judge a player just after 2 days worth of pre-season training. So I think you're right. I think there probably is a correlation there. He seems like a player with lots of potential, don't get me wrong, but he was brought in originally, Mamar, as a loan prospect, someone to leave the club this season to continue his development. And of course the messaging changed very quickly. All of a sudden he was staying at the club. So I think you could be onto something there, absolutely.
Yeah, this whole saga has just been very chaotic, I think, from both sides. And our sort of Twitter today has been in a bit of a meltdown between Norwich and Watford fans. This sort of rivalry has formed, and yeah, like you say, the Carabao Cup game may well be the Papa Diallo derby, and yeah, we'll very much look forward to that.
Hopefully, he bags a
Ab-
couple of goals.
Yeah, oh
yes,
God, that would rub
yes.
salt into the wounds, wouldn't it? Oh my
That
word.
would.
Oh God, don't get me started. Looking forward to that though. I'm looking forward to the season generally.
Yeah,
Actually, I think the transfer window for both of us, Norwich
Yeah.
and Watford, has been really impressive, especially for us. There was a lot of discontent around our owner at the end of
yeah.
last season, especially after Tom Cleverley was sacked. So he's definitely done some redemption work this summer. And yeah, for me personally, I am still not a big Gino Pozzo fan. I think it's best for the long term of the future of the club for him to leave. But yeah, I can't complain at the transfer window to Watford. It's been excellent. And likewise for you guys, some of the signings you've brought in, especially up front, hijacking another deal from Celtic, we should add,
Yeah.
was yeah, really good. So yeah, both clubs having a good transfer window, I feel.
No, absolutely. I expect both of us to sort of be there or thereabouts come the end of the season in terms of the playoff places. But yeah, I think we've sort of wrapped up everything in terms of the Diallo chat. Papa Diallo, probably by the time this video goes out, is going to be a Norwich City player, and we are all very excited about it. Apart from James, of course, who unfortunately missed out on the hijack deal there. But they obviously have Nestroy Irankunda, who is definitely going to be a factor to play in the Papa Diallo derby next month. But thank you very much, James, from the Watford Way, for coming on Bleed Norwich this evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the short future for the Carabao Cup game.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.